the only way to paint a painting is one brush stroke at a time. Yeah, we all want the end result, but sometimes that end result is fearing. We don't challenge ourselves to step by step for the big goal and accomplishment.
That brush stroke, sometimes the thing that you thought was going to be a tree, maybe that stroke didn't go right, so you turn it into a mountain. You have to cover some things up at times.
You used to watch Bob Ross on Sunday mornings, didn't you?
And just beat the devil out of it.
I'm just saying, like, there's not perfection in the journey. The small incremental improvements for our team, I've just seen, if you try to do the big thing at once, you get consumed by the mountain. I mean, you go hike a 14er when you're hunting, I'm going down that valley and then I got to go back up. And you just look at it and you just go, let me get to the bottom first.
Yep.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Never in Reverse. I'm your host, Jeremy Axel. I did the one finger this time. Doug, do the two. Go for
number
two.
Number one.
Exactly. First place.
I'm number one. You're second.
Doug, get in line.
Yeah.
No, welcome back everybody. Appreciate you guys joining us. Thanks for the following us on this awesome journey of, I just say, self-improvement, discovery of who we are, where we're going, building better community, all the things. It's taken us down avenues I never expected, honestly. So, Doug, how are you, man?
Not bad. Not bad. Another action-packed morning, but can't complain. How about you?
Man, we a lot of stuff going on, man. Just trying to get a vacation plan with the old family.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're trying to get we got our passports submitted, and
good for you.
We're trying to get to either Mexico or Costa Rica, probably Costa Rica. So,
oh, yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, at least a week, at least 9 days, something like that.
Yeah, it takes a couple days to unwind and relax and then enjoy it. And yeah, that'll be.
Guess what I'm going to say when I leave, when I hit the airport?
Adios.
Lose my number.
Yeah, I bet.
Hey, Doug, answer the phone and lose my number.
Yeah. Hey, you need anything, call Doug. I'm unavailable.
You know, it's unfortunate, man. There's something in this planet. It's like every time I'm like, it could be slow for like a few days, and then I'm going on vacation, and the moment that I hit the airport,
I know exactly what you're talking about. You think you have everything tucked in, everything's taken care of, I'm good, my plate is set, and then all of a sudden that one just comes out of the woodworks, and then another one.
Yeah, I was jealous of you a couple months ago when you went to Idaho and you actually literally don't have cell service. I'm like, God, that guy.
It was so beautiful.
Well, no, your phone was ringing. I said, up. I just threw the towel and I waved the wipe. I'm like, waving the flag.
Yeah, no, Doug will be back in 4 to 5 days. Call him then.
You're like, I literally did. I started for about half a day and I'm like, all right, man, I can't handle both of this.
There's something to say about not having cell service. When you want to unplug and you don't have it, I don't know. It's a beautiful thing.
On the last episode, Solitude, man, like, that for you is your out. You go glassing, right? That's what they call it, glassing.
Oh yeah, sit there on the mountain
binoculars,
and you sit there and you look through your spotting scope and your binoculars until your eyes are so dry, you can't even look through it anymore. And it's just then all of a sudden, the sun will come out and you'll just lay in the sun and take a nap, and
you're good at that.
Oh yeah, I am. Especially
Napping's your middle
like
name.
That.
Napping's your middle name.
Oh yeah. If I could get one in around here, it'd be beautiful. That's not an option.
No, it's a 24/7 roast.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
Doors
never close.
You can't get away. Yeah, you can't get away from me here, bud.
Oh no.
Hey Doug, this is just a low key, beautiful culture. Come on over.
Oh yeah. This industry's so mellow. And it's only 8 to 5 too. Like all the conveyors worldwide, they shut down.
But
hours.
I forgot there's East Coast and West Coast.
Oh,
I can add a couple hours on both ends.
Exactly. Yeah.
No, it's you're right. Rolled ride. No, it's been good, man. I'm glad everything's going good. But hey, we're gonna dive in today, guys, and thanks so much for joining us on this journey. Like we said, there's so much discovery that we're going through, and we want to converse with you guys and understand and just keep learning ourselves and figure out ways that people are attacking these challenges. So please we're an open book. We want you guys to be part of this process and
let us know what works for you.
Yeah. What we don't know, we don't know. So
right.
Our world's your world, and we just want you guys to be part of it. So micro habits, Doug. Oh boy.
Micro habits.
Micro habits, man. Personalized micro habits in the workplace. I'm going to take the lead on this one. Team, I got a lot of habits.
Mm-hmm.
I got a lot of bad habits. I got a lot of, micro habits are important, man. I mean, the thing is sometimes, I'll be honest, in our environment, man, we got a lot of things that good and bad, right? Like that we need to continually evolve and break. And I think we're going through a bunch of like, I'd say discovery of one another and how it fits and molds into where we're going. And I think we all have these good and bad habits, and we got to figure out ways to blend these in and start breaking the walls down to kind of mold, right? And that's one thing that when you have a team atmosphere, it's just these dynamics of these habits can make great things and also hold and restrict you, but they can is time involved. Conform. But team benefits of micro habits. I think for me, the team benefit when you have micro habits that are in a positive environment. They can just, they're little bites of the apple are a lot easier to eat than a full apple. You can choke on a full apple versus little bites, right? So
how do you eat an elephant? How do you eat an elephant?
One bite at a time. Yeah. So, those micro changes, and I think if the good on both sides, and I think you and I have learned this, is like, you're great at certain things that I'm not, it's just part of you and I can learn from it. And those little things that I can just continually try to improve on can help a lot of different things. Same with you, right? Like,
and it fills our gaps.
Yeah.
Of who we are, or, our personalities, our tactics, the way we go about our day. And it's where you can put learn from somebody and put that arrow into your quiver or that tool into your toolbox,
Well, and I think one thing that I've tried to preach internally is like, make a 1% difference in a positive route every single day, over and over, and how many we're all throughout the year.
Yep.
Do it. Watch what, and I think that's what we're continually doing is you see from last year, and we did a decent reflection, but I don't think we reflected enough on how drastic the change was last year. And I look back and you take where we're at a little bit, I think sometimes we don't reflect enough on those habits that we're changing and where you came from and actually where you are and vice versa. It's like, I think but we still are hitting these barriers, I think, within ourselves, and we're having to break these walls down. We're going through some stuff on things that I'm seeing on your, I wouldn't say just maybe habits of like having to think you have to do it all, right? And
exactly, just the ability to let things go sometimes, knowing that it's not, you have support, you have other people where they have responsibility, and sometimes that control is hard to let go of. It is, but when it's like once there's a level of trust and an understanding, and it can be fulfilled, it's you got to let it go. It's hard sometimes. It is.
Yeah, and I'm pushing you towards just breaking down some barriers, and I'll tell you, because I've been probably the worst at that. But what I'm starting to realize is once you enable and give the tools and understanding of what the expectations are, the clarity around letting them and helping them break their micro habits and hold them accountable against what the truth of what needs to be happening outside, so that we can evolve and things shift and sway. So I think just continual self-transformation every single day in the workplace from the way that we conduct our processes is super, super important. It's actually can be transformational. And I think we've seen that for whatever that's worth. We're never consistently staying in the same spot. And that could be, I think there's people that I've been around in the workforces and stuff. It would drown them, man. Any little this.
Well, it's a fear. It's a fear of that change or that challenge, right? But the problem is sometimes we look too big picture. The only way to paint a painting is one brush stroke at a time. If you want to paint the painting, it's one brush stroke at a time. Yeah, we all want the end result, but sometimes that end result is fearing, but so people don't, we don't challenge ourselves to step by step for the big goal and accomplishment.
And I think sometimes like that brush stroke, like sometimes when you're doing a painting, sometimes the thing that you thought was going to be a tree, maybe that stroke didn't go right, so you turn it into a mountain, right? Like you have to cover some things up at times.
You used to watch Bob Ross on Sunday mornings, didn't you?
No, that was Travis
Oh,
Johansson.
happy little tree.
Do you remember Travis? He was Bob Ross.
He's Bob Ross for Halloween. That was great. But no, you're right.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, there's not perfection in the journey, and there's sometimes you sway and adapt to have those transformations and what you
in
thought.
Another path or
I'll tell you the
direction.
thing that for me on but going back to micro habits is like the small incremental improvements for our team. I've just seen if you try to do the big thing at once, you get consumed by the mountain. But if we take
factor,
I mean, you go hike a 14 or go to the top of a big ridge. It's like when you're hunting, you got to just you're just like, man, I'm going down that valley and then I got to go back up. And you just look at it and you just go, let me get to the bottom first.
Yep.
And then when I get to the bottom, we'll reset and see where I'm at and I'll start to the top. I guess removes barriers of what your limitations were or what they are and start, if you start doing those micro improvements of getting things to improvement, and you're going to fail and you're going to make, I wouldn't say failure if you're trying. I think you're just going to make
You stumble, but you get out, but then you figure out, the course of direction, to not stumble again, or to make the same mistake. And we've done a lot of things, internally in our processes. I mean, just look at the accounting changes that we overcame last year. I mean, and they were big burdens, but we knew we had to dive in head first. And they were micro. And they were micro. I mean, they were
still happening.
And still happening. But this, you set the stage, right? Mm-hmm. So once the stage was set, now let's get in and let's massage it. Let's refine it. One little element at a time. And we're still doing it. And we did. But then you look back and go, whoa, that was just one brick at a time, and got there.
And what I tell you guys, and I'm a firm believer, is like, don't forget those steps. Mm-hmm. The entire, every day.
Every element matters.
Do I tell you guys that every single day, don't forget the steps?
Well, yeah. And if you notice something, bring it up to the team. Or if you see that there's, maybe a different way to go about that or a different way to communicate it, bring the idea to the table. Let's not sit on it because the thing is if you recognize it once now, compound that over time, what does that look like? What does that,
because the percentage of the compound effect of that being stagnant in place, when you grow, it actually compounds at a rate much bigger than what you thought.
It's not a speed bump. It's a stone
It's not
wall.
a ratio. Exactly.
Yeah.
And the ratio doesn't always become the same of what you thought. So I'm the firm believer is like, listen, if you see it, and I always tell you guys, don't tell me.
Don't tell me.
You're telling the wrong guy.
Yeah.
Let's go bring you to the forefront.
Yeah.
So that in 2 weeks you're seeing it in a different manner. So making it sticky, bringing these habits in terms of where we're going and make it part of our process. And I'm still breaking down barriers on some of our team. Like, listen, be part of that. Don't make me just do it all.
No,
I'm not experiencing the same thing.
In a lot of organizations, it's like, if you have an idea, you got to run it up through your chain of command. Well, we don't really have, there is still an element of a chain of command, but if you have a great idea, bring it up to the team, where other organizations would be like, well, that's not your role or your responsibility to worry about that. Mm-hmm. But I'm in the trenches. I see what's going on right here on the front lines. And this is what we need to do to adapt, to be more competitive in the market, to have a better customer experience, whatever it may be. The guys in the trenches know what's going on the front lines. They, in a lot of organizations, they don't allow them to have a voice. We're here. It's like, look, you got a better way or a better tactic or a great idea, bring it up to the team.
And I think that's one thing, we're going to dive into break, but just to leave it at that, I think one thing that, I've set the precedence on for our team is like, make a transformational experience inside of yourself to better your own life with this platform, and become part of what you want. Like, if you want something, take the steps to go get it. I'm not going to be responsible for the whole thing of those micro steps. And just continual habitual changes to get what you want for it, whether it's time, whether it's more money, whatever you want, go get it. Right. So We're going to dive into a quick break, though, guys, and we appreciate you joining us here on Never in Reverse. Again, just please comment, leave your experiences with us. We'd love
Let us know your thoughts.
Love to join you guys on your own journey. So we're going to take a quick break, guys, and we'll be back here in just a little bit. Thanks. Oh, welcome back. I'm just fucking.
Oh, you're such an ass.
Oh, hey, yeah. That was good.
Not cool because I'm going, shit, start over. You're such an ass.
There we go again.
Jackass.
Jorge's blood pressure almost went to the moon.
Yeah.
No. Welcome back, everybody, to Never in Reverse podcast. We appreciate you guys allowing us to take a quick break. Doug, welcome, man.
We're back, Jack. Yeah.
We're back. Again, guys, thanks for staying put with us on this journey.
With two yo-yos, run our lip.
Yeah. We don't know where this is going, but you're coming with us. So come on in.
And don't be afraid to call us wrong. If you hear something that we say that we're wrong about, please tell us.
And the only thing we can say is keep this far, far away from all of our college football friends. Far away.
Right. Yeah.
Don't get it anywhere near this.
No, because
it will be a
roast will,
we'll have to turn this show off.
Well, I have that text thread with all those guys. I have it silenced because I don't know. I don't know. They got a lot more free time than I have.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, let's dive back into it, Doug. Micro habits and the self-improvement around guys, again, we take these kind of from business concepts to personal and family, or from family into personal. We kind of have our little buckets, and we like to do that just to kind of give the true exploration of our lives and how everyone else kind of typically
those elements cross over.
Yeah, absolutely.
In a lot of ways.
So, benefits in your family, Doug, and your micro habits, good and bad.
What's funny is just, what was it, last week? 2 weeks ago, my oldest daughter, she's a freshman in high school, right? And, I mean, that's a big change for anybody. And I remember, too, it's intimidating, but, the school workload, when you go from, junior high, now into high school, and the curriculum, and the elements of that in just, the different curriculum that she's learning and the projects and the assignments. And she was just letting this big, overwhelming experience and picture consumer. And, and I told her the other day, I said, Ash, the one thing you got to do is, that project's due in 3 weeks. You're not going to wait till the last day to get it done. If you do, it's not going to be your best effort. A little bit at a time. You gotta tackle things, don't let the big picture things consume you. A little bit at a time, and eventually it'll build and take care of itself. But, and it's like when it comes to house projects or different things, I mean, you gotta keep things into just elements of perspective, of just small achievements, because then that compound effect yet again is the reward.
Yeah, it's like doing a load of laundry or doing 5 loads of laundry.
Well, my wife my wife doesn't let me do the laundry because I mix the colors.
No, folks, we got to be honest with you. Doug and I, we share a very common thing. It's called the laundry room, and it's full of all clean laundry. We just throw it in a pile because we got 2 kids, and we laugh. My wife and I go, how's the laundry bed doing over there? She actually did them the other day, and it took like 3 hours. I'm like, oh, that felt nice. Thank you.
Oh, gosh. Yeah,
no,
that's one aspect. You just want to get it done.
Oh, buddies, throw it on. We got a little shelf in our laundry room. I'm like, I just take it out of the dryer and go, boop. Sorry, close the door. Can't see in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely a habit I don't think I'll ever break because I do not like laundry.
No.
Not my jam.
No. And my wife likes to hang everything up. I'm going,
how many hangers you got?
Oh my gosh. There's hangers everywhere. She likes to hang the kids' clothes up, or they have their bin of their things that go in their drawers,
Now let's get back to the micro habits. So I'll be honest with you, man. So you can bring in habitual things, and I think we all have done this in life is, you got your habits, you wait till your mid-30s, you get married, or early, whatever, when you get married, and then you bring these habits into your marriage, good and bad. One thing I found myself doing in my life is defending every part of my habits. and good and bad, right? Like take it or leave it. And I think that mentality has shifted for me a lot in the last couple of years. Is like, man, that's not the right way to approach this. There's definitely great things about habits I have, and then there's very poor things, and then there's great and poor things within those habits, right? Where I need to maybe slow down a little bit, or understand that it doesn't have to happen in an instant, or it's not, even though those habits are consistent. I'll tell you that I am very consistent in terms of way I approach things, but sometimes in overload, sometimes not. I'm not allowing solitude. I'm not allowing myself care enough to
say that again.
Yeah, exactly. You heard me.
Okay.
Write it down. That was a quote.
I've got it right here.
Yeah, that was a quote. That might become famous.
Exactly. But no, you're right. There's a lot of teamwork in a household, and sometimes it was that way in our marriage early on. It was kind of my way or the highway.
Oh yeah.
And then I was met with resistance, right? And I was met with, together we each play a role. We play a part for the better good of the end result. And it took me, because you can read all the books you want on parenting, marriage, all of it, until you go through it and your experiences and you figure out your indifferences and where, you kind of compensate and you come together on things, right? I don't care if it's money, financials, if it's the way you discipline kids, if, just roles and responsibilities in the household. But
I think it's acknowledgement. I think the thing, it's a self-awareness that, like, the person that you're with or your kids, I think your kids teach you a lot more about yourself than you've ever thought was possible, because they're pure hearts. They see things from a different, unjaded lens. But when you're in a marriage and you get married and all that stuff, you need to start. I think the biggest thing that I messed up on is I didn't really pay attention to my wife's perspectives enough at the beginning, because it was my way or the highway. And you're sitting there going, and then you look back and you're like, man, if I would have just slowed down that part of that, our marriage would have been way less big bumps, right? Like just little micro bumps. But
I think the one wouldn't be as drastic.
Yeah, and I think that the conflict of what the holding on to your micro or your poor habits, break those down just little bites at a time. And just, one thing I've started doing is, like, if I make a mistake that I'm trying to change, I acknowledge it and say, hey, here's what I'm doing. And I try again, and I try again, and I try again. So I can take ownership in myself to start changing those things, because I've been in environments where they throw it at the wall and then walk away and they don't even acknowledge it again. It's like it never happened.
Fight or flight.
Yep. Don't even remember what they said.
Yep. Just fight or flight. Yep.
And it's like, well, no, that happened, and we need to address. We're going to talk about that. So I think the conflict in with our kids, as experience, like, our kids are going to have their own things that they're starting to embrace, good and bad, and my goal is to just kind of help them, steer them through but also learn with them, because they're going to have their own desires and stuff, and just allowing them to kind of have more healthy guardrails that allow them to experience their own thinking, but also stay out of the line of fire.
Oh, exactly. And then just to, wholeheartedly get them off, when they step out the front door of your home and they go to start their lives, the world isn't as big and as overwhelming. There's some perspective and some, again, bills are due, rent's due, power bills due, those responsibilities, those micro things that you have to take care of.
Pay yourself first.
Yeah. And
that's one that you and I were talking about. Like, I mean, you're the first class while the money lasts, and in your marriage,
buddy, I burned that stuff like jet fuel.
I mean, it came in and out faster than Wells Fargo's deposits.
It didn't have a chance to hit the account. I had it spent before I had it.
But Doug, you made some big changes along with the guidance of your wife, who is a lot better at that, right?
Yep.
And that happened in my marriage too. Is like, listen, it's going to be in the betterment of. You might not see that today, but you look back and you're like, best thing I ever did.
Oh, best decision I ever made. Yeah.
Best decision for yourself.
Well, and it's accumulated. Again, making that change has gotten me to this point and where I'm at, the beautiful home that I have, the toys that we have. I mean, if I still carried that responsibility of managing the family's finances, we wouldn't be in this position that I'm in. But again, that was small micro
Yes.
elements of putting money in the bank, saving money at the grocery store. My wife is very frugal. Secondhand stores and garage sales for the kids' clothes because they grow out of the stuff in 2 months anyway.
Yeah, and they're burning it anyways. My boys, you should see their knees. I'm like, why would I ever buy them new clothes?
Right. But I mean, those little things have what has helped us accumulate, I'll say, our wealth and our well-being.
Yep.
But
It's compound. It's compounded.
It's compound.
You can't retire without doing deposits.
Exactly.
In your 401k.
No.
Your 401k is not going to be retirable in a month.
No.
So continual improvement, being consistent, never giving up. Don't if something hits the fan, don't give up. You got to get through the fire to see. I mean, you got to go through the hard things, right? Like, and most people think, you love when the market shifts in the financial markets and the people start pulling their money out. I'm going, you're making this stuff go on sale. Put more in.
Yeah.
This is an opportunity for me to advance further. So just take those steps and believe in yourself and be consistent. And I think that's what it comes down to, is just the micro habits of self-improvement. Like, I'll tell you that I have a set of beliefs that I want to try as much as I can. I want to be as open as I can. I want to create a world of abundance and views of what I was never taught. I think there's more out there. I know I've been told I was crazy for being an entrepreneur and all these things, and you just, you think that
there's still an element of crazy in there, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's any entrepreneur is crazy. I mean, you're just taking something out of the air and thinking that I'm just going to turn this into something, and the belief that I had in myself for getting there was it still is in me today. The habits of that have not changed, which is probably not the best thing at times, but I still believe at a high level for our team, my habits create what we have, right?
Oh, 100%.
And I watch our team, and I watch when people try to navigate out of that, it doesn't work. I can see it from a mile away, and I'm going to come back and reset. I just did it this morning. I had to reset someone to ensure that they fully understood
the expectations.
Complete clarity of what is expected from me first and everyone else. And if it doesn't match, I'm going to be steering the boat a different direction. And that rubber band's going to get bigger and bigger, right? So just making sure that those micro improvements and resetting. I think the thing that in my marriage, I'll be honest and vulnerable, is like I had some really bad habits that I brought to this family. And I defended. I didn't defend them. I kept them to the sideline. Oh, they're not important. I'm building a business. They're not important. They're not important. When my wife said they're just dying inside, man, they're so important to her.
Yeah.
She doesn't care about this side of stuff. I mean, she knows
because she needs you. She wants you. Yeah.
So but I was bringing this, and I was putting more priority on this than I was in my marriage, and I still at times do. But I'm more open. Like, hey, listen, this is what I need right now, and here's why. I hope this doesn't. I don't want you to think you're not a priority. I try to let her understand, like, my war right now might be a little bit different. Doug's war every day, like your battle that we face we don't know. Like, you had a battle last night. You said, hey man, I was up till 6:30 and you're trying to get through these things. Well, that might not happen today. And so we just face these things in a different element, but we got to be open. And I think communication is the biggest, it's a most important thing, right? But also
in just that, like you said, that communication, that openness, so they understand these elements or stressful times that we're in, going, okay, I got you. I'll make sure dinner's taken care of, kids are read, homework's done, those things. Go ahead and knock that stuff out, and then it's a tug and pull. There's going to be those times when, like my wife with her own business, she needs the time to be in the seat to get some things accomplished, to free her up, where it's like, hey, I'll step in this time. I got you.
One thing I see on your personal level, though, man, you have been dedicated to the gym, and I'm going to give you kudos. Your micro habits, you created a habit that you brought to your family, and you're now your wife's a part of that journey with you guys.
Well, yeah, and she's the one that's really kind of got me back into it.
Yeah.
It's after college, I don't know, after college football and just the regiment of it.
Oh.
I was tired, and It was, it was 4 years ago, Valentine's Day. She challenged me to go to this gym that she had been going to. And I've been a part of it now for the last 4 years. And I try to get there, 4 days a week. That's kind of my goal.
Oh, I was going to go for, I was giving you kudos for one, because I thought your micro, small habits.
Buddy, these muscles weren't built in one day. That's time. That's dedication.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
No, it was a healthy change for me, and one element of it was that was my wife and I's time together too in the morning, where we could go together and challenge each other and have fun with each other in the gym. And
couples that work out together stay together. They
yeah.
say that, right?
Yeah,
because
she
it's
still runs laps around me, but
but those micro habits, I think they're what's your goal for 2025? Give me one habit you want to break.
Zins, the nicotine, I told myself January 1st I'd be done, but I haven't been too good at it. But that's one thing. And I'm challenging myself with that. I've cut back on the habit, but it's that's one thing I want to challenge myself to break. But I know it's not just going to be cold turkey for me. It's going to have to just be baby steps of small of just kicking that nasty habit.
Yeah, it's tough, man. I mean, when I quit drinking 3 years ago, I just hit cold turkey, man. And it's been 3 years and 1 month, 2 months now.
Wow.
Been a wild ride, but now I got my little sparkling water CBD drinks that I enjoy. So, but no, it's been, those habits. So Zens, I guess I would say my biggest habit right now is just I want to kind of do a reset and get back into being outdoors more, spending some quality time with my family.
Yeah.
Just really penciling it on the calendar and just creating some habits that we're putting some priority in our family time together.
Well, and it's given them the experience too. It's going to make you whole. You're going to get back to the things you enjoy, but you're also going to give those moments and elements of fun with your family as well.
Sure.
To where they're going to get, to learn to go out there and relax. I don't care if it's fishing and spending time with dad. The joy that's going to bring them too. It's not just you, and you're going to look back and go, that was fun.
Exactly. And I think as we could sit on this topic forever, because I think there's so many good and bad habits that we all have, right? Like if you really start breaking that down, and I think just for viewers is just take don't look at all the great and poor things that you're consumed by, like Doug was saying just take one that you've been, hey, this is a goal of mine, and just take little bites of the apple and understand that it's okay to fail. You're going to get back up. Don't stop. Like the New Year's resolution at the gym, they just go for a week and then they go, oh, I didn't see the results I wanted. It's like someone putting their 401k. I didn't see the results I wanted. And what? Come on, guys.
One deposit. Yeah. No.
Do these micro challenges and be like, hey, I'm going to do a 2-week sprint. And after 2 weeks, I'm going to see where I'm at. And then I'm going to do 2 more weeks.
Reset. Yep.
And then and then all of a sudden it's going to be 2 months, 2 years. And then, you're going to start seeing those changes.
The fruit of the labor.
I'm not going to see my changes in my 401k in 2 months, but I can see progression, and I can see that even if I miss one deposit, or I miss a workout, or I miss hitting some type of meal I didn't want to have, or I had something I shouldn't have, but I'm doing it, my 80% is heading the right direction. It's okay. You're going to get there. And I think just inspire other people to make that change and be part of a story, right? Like I just think let's try to embrace change a little bit for the good and bad, for yourself, for your family, for your friends. And but again, if you guys want to share your journey, maybe there's something that you guys are struggling on that you got through, we'd love to hear about it. I mean, I love knowing that people are, I have a really good friend of mine that I've seen him dance through a lot of parts of life, and I just watch him grow as a human. It's like, man, look at him. We have some college friends that have been through a lot of tough things, and they're youthful, and you look at them and like the change that they've gone through are the opposite of directions. I think there's a lot of potential in people, and I just think that if we would love to hear your guys' journey, because there's so much to learn and how you got through it and what you've done to keep consistent.
And that's the hardest part, is staying consistent.
Yes.
because it's easy to get off the rails. Yeah,
Absolutely.
especially if you have a goal in mind. You know,
So guys, share with us your journey as we wrap up today's episode on Never in Reverse. We would love to hear from you guys, hear your experiences. Again, we're an open book, guys. We want you guys to dive in with us and just make us better humans, right? We're on this rock one time together, so let's do it.
give me some pointers on how to deal with Jeremy. How about that?
You might need a book. I'll have to give me your address and I'll send you a journal. We'll start there.
Oh boy.
So anyways, guys, thanks for joining us on this episode on Never in Reverse. I am your host, Jeremy Axel, co-host Doug Cox. Until next time, guys, we appreciate it. And
Do it again.
have a wonderful rest of your week. Take care.
Yeah, thank you.